Hey everyone, it's me Bailey and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm here to film for you guys my December TBR, which as you can see by the thumbnail, it seems like it's going to be a lot of books, but actually it's going to be only 3 that are actually on my TBR. But I did decide to do like what's in my queue, I guess, kind of, or like also like honorable mentions of things that are like on my radar that I would like to read probably here soon. That doesn't mean that I'll get to them in December, but it is books that I just am kind of like on the lookout for, if that makes sense, or like books that like sound good to read here soon. So I will be talking about those a little bit as well, but first I want to talk a little bit about my TBR. And so like I said, there are 3 books on this list. One of them is a reread, so I did end up reading it like a couple years ago, and then I just wanted to kind of reread it recently again, so I decided to pick it up. And then 2 of them are also a part of a series, not the same series, but they're like the second or third book in a series. And then one of them is one that I have never read before and honestly don't know all that much about it. But with that being said, the first book that I want to read in the month of December is going to be Onyx by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and this is the second book in the Lux series. This series is about a girl named Katie, and she is a book blogger who moves to this town in West Virginia, I believe it is, and she moves there with her mother. It's been a few years since her dad died, and she moves into this house in this town with barely anything in it. It has like 1 stoplight, and she moves next door to these people, and it's 2 teenagers the same age as her, and they turn out to be aliens. And yeah, so I read the first book, Obsidian, in November, and I really loved it. I gave it 4 stars. I honestly want to continue the series literally for Damon, and that's it, because I know in the second book there is this guy that comes in, and I remember absolutely despising him. So I'm not looking forward to that. Like, I feel like I'm gonna hate him, but I'm not looking forward to it, you know? Like, I don't know, but I am excited to read it. There are 5 books in the series, and I don't know if I will continue to read the whole series, but I feel like I probably will. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to start it. I did recently start it the other day, so I am on chapter 2 in it, so I'm not like super far in it, but yeah, I'm excited for this one. The next book on my TBR is one that I have heard things about. Like, I've heard people like it for the most part. Like, it's pretty, like, I would say it's pretty popular, but not like too popular, I guess. I don't know, but I don't really know much about the premise, but that book is going to be I Darken by Kirsten White, and honestly I don't know much about this. I think it's like a spin-off kind of, or like it's based on the Vlad Dracul stories and like Dracula and like stories like that, but I'm not 100% sure, except I think it's like gender reversed, I guess. So like instead of like Vlad Dracul being a guy, I think it's a girl. I think. I don't, like I said, I'm not like 100% sure on what this is about. I do know it has something to do with taking over an empire, maybe, and revenge, and then like a triangle of destruction, or I don't, honestly I can't tell you what this is about, but I have been wanting to pick it up for a while, and so hopefully I can pick this up in the month of December. The third book that I want to read in the month of December is one that I have been wanting to get my hands on for like a few weeks now. It's been out for a while, but I was finally able to get around to reading this series, and this is the third book in the series, and that is The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. And this book follows the events that happen after The Wicked King, which, if you have read the Folk of the Air series, you know the ending of The Wicked King. When I tell you, the ending had me absolutely speechless, like, because it was like a 4-star read for me, and then literally the ending is what did it, and I like pushed it over to a 5-star for me, literally based on that ending. So this follows the events of that. I wanted to wait for it to come out in paperback because when I finished The Wicked King, there was only like less than 2 weeks until the paperback version was released, so I just went ahead and waited, and so now I want to read this in the month of December. And like literally just talking about the ending makes me want to literally pick it up like right this second. There was like an excerpt in the back of The Wicked King with the first 2 chapters of The Queen of Nothing, so I did read that. So I am like on chapter 3 of this book. I think I'm actually on page 30, but I just need to like bite the bullet and finish reading this. But I literally cannot wait to finish this. But I have heard that there was so much potential with this for it to kind of flop, I guess, and it didn't really go, I guess, the way that people kind of wanted it to go. So I am really excited, but I don't really have any hopes, I guess, as to where I want it to go. All I know is that I'm tired of the enemies to lovers. I'm ready. I'm tired of them being enemies, and I'm ready for them to be lovers. So hopefully I get my want for them to finally be lovers and them to not be enemies anymore. But we'll see. Okay, so that's gonna be all of the books that are actually on my TBR. So next I want to talk about the books that are on my radar or my queue or my TBR that's not a TBR kind of thing. So the first book on that list is going to be From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and this book is all over the internet right now, all over BookTube, all over BookTok, all over everything. And this book is so hard to find, so I actually didn't realize that it was self-published, so I didn't realize that it wasn't in stores. So I went looking for this book in almost all of my local bookstores for me to have to find out that I had to order it. So I will be ordering it pretty soon, and hopefully it will come in and then I can read this. So I don't really see myself reading it in December. Maybe I'll end up ordering it for like Christmas or something, and then I can read it like around Christmas time. But we'll see on that one. I feel like I might not end up getting to this one until next year, but it is still on my radar, like, you know. The next book on my radar is one that I started last year sometime. I was supposed to read it for the Books with Friends book club that was going on way back when, and I ended up starting it, but then I never ended up finishing it. And this was one of the books that I was reading during the reading rush, and when I fell into my slump, I just never finished it. So I wanted to maybe pick it back up, and that is The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. I've heard nothing but fantastic things about this. As you can see, I did start annotating it, but I only got like a few pages in. I don't even know. I got 74 pages in before a reading slump claimed me and I was unable to finish it. So I would hopefully like to get to this here pretty soon. As far as I know, it has things to do with like time travel and magic, and it's like takes place in like San Francisco, I believe, or maybe in like New York or something. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure, but I am excited to pick this up eventually. Like I said, don't know if I'll get to it in December, but it is definitely one that I'm wanting to get to soon. So the next book that is on this list is going to be Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, and this is the first book in the Six of Crows. I don't really know if it's a duology or if it's a trilogy, but I actually have read this in the past, and I did annotate it. As you can see, my like tabs sticking out of the side, but I have read this in the past. I read this, I think, last summer, I believe, and this was a part of the Books with Friends book club. I think this was the first book that was read, but I remember absolutely loving this, and I put this on here because I was kind of in the mood for like a heist type of story, and that's exactly what this is. So, plus I want to dive back into this world so I can pick up The Crooked Kingdom, because I still haven't read that, even though I love this and I wanted to read The Crooked Kingdom. I think I started it but like never finished it because, like I said, I fell into a reading slump, so hopefully I can get around to reading this one sometime soon as well. So the last and final book on this list is going to be one that I have read in the past before, and it is part of an infamous series in the YA world, and I kind of wanted to read all of these books. My plan was to read them all in 2019, but that did not end up happening, and it even took me like forever to actually get through this one, but I am wanting to pick it up again, and I want to actually read the series in the correct order, so I don't actually know if this will be the first one that I read, but that book is Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare, and I found this video that talks about like the actual like way that you're supposed to read them, like according to Cassandra Clare, and it actually is like the first 3 books in Mortal Instruments, and then these 3 books in The Infernal Devices, and then the last 3 books in the Mortal Instruments, and then the Dark Artifices series. This is on this list, I guess, because I was kind of like feeling like a historical romance type deal, but honestly I don't know if I'm really feeling it anymore at this point in time. But I would like to actually read the whole series because it's been years since I read the Mortal Instruments. I read it while I was in high school, and I didn't read it like in the correct order, I guess you could say. But yeah, I would like to finally get to like the Dark Artifacts and stuff, because I feel like everyone just loves that one. I feel like people say that it's like the best out of all of it, I think. So this one might be taken off the list and replaced by City of Bones. So we'll see how that ends up working out. And obviously I've really been into like mood reading recently, which is why in November I literally read so many romance novels. I've been like in a romance mood lately. I don't know what's going on, but I've just been super into romance and not really into like fantasy or anything like that. So I've just been kind of like mood reading. So, and it's been working out for me because I've been reading a lot. So that's why my TBRs, I've been keeping them pretty short recently, probably like 2 to 3 books, because I feel like if I make these super long TBRs, then it just like it like distracts me, I guess, and then I feel like I have to read something and then I don't want to read it, and it's just like a whole thing, which I think is why this whole like queue or like radar list that I've started is really like helping me out, because it's a TBR that's not a TBR. So basically I put books on this list, but it can change. So basically, like, if I am feeling something, I put it on there, and then if I'm not feeling something, then I can just take it off. So it just keeps it fresh in my brain of stuff that I would like to pick up without actually being like, hey, I'm actually gonna read this month. So I think it's definitely been helping me. And if you struggle with TBRs, then it's definitely something that I would suggest looking into. So I think that is going to be all for this video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up if you would like. You can subscribe to my channel if you want to, but you don't have to. It would be awesome if you did though. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.